Yo, what's going on, my print peeps? Thank you for checking back in. For those of you who are new, my name is Dave with Diversity Print. Today we're going to print several different size prints from the Epson F570 dye sublimation printer. I had a viewer ask about the difference, how to print different sizes. And so we're going to go through the most common ones, at least here in the States. We're going to take a view on this table and show you the different sizes that we have and what we're going to use. Alright, so we're going to use the output tray, which goes on the bottom and it catches the sheets as they come out. Alright, and as you can see here on the left, we have most common name for this is mug paper for your 11-ounce mugs, 15-ounce mugs. We'll talk about this in a little bit. We will not be printing off of this size. So we have letter, we have legal, we have 11 by 17, and then we have 13 by 19. All right, so let's talk about this for a little bit. All right, so I have in my hand here mug sheet paper. This is basically 3.5 inches wide by whatever length. Usually it's 11 inches long, or 14, or you can make mug paper out of your scraps. If you're using 13 by 19 and you only use like half of the page or maybe 3/4 of the page, a lot of my mug paper I made on my own just by using the guillotine cutter, paper cutter, and I just put it in there and I just chop it off. And I usually use made 3.5 or 4-inch wide paper for the mug paper. But this was when I had the Epson 1400 and 1430. I'm not sure if you can see it in the back, but there are two printers I have in the back. They're no longer dye sublimation printers. So if anybody out there has a workaround or some kind of magic fix on printing mug paper sizes on the Epson F570, let me know in the comments. I'll try and figure it out and then make a video to help anybody else who wants to try and print mug paper out of this printer here. So as far as I can see inside the settings here, there's a minimum size that you can use, and it's like almost 8.25 inches wide. So you cannot input 3.5 or 4-inch wide paper. But I've been trying. I haven't tried too hard, but I did try to go into the settings, but it just doesn't. It says that it's not matching the driver of the printer, their settings, because it doesn't allow you to go that small on the actual printer screen here. As you can see on this side, I tried to open this up and I tried to use the multi-feed tray here. There's markings on the tray, but there's A4 letter legal, which is the same width, 9 by 12, B4, 11 by 17, and A3 that will fit in here. And you have this sheet holder to keep it center that goes in and out. Well, it doesn't go no shorter than, what is it, A4? If you try to put this in there, it's just going to go in sideways. But I've tried to go directly in the center and try and hold it go straight, and it gave me that output right there. And I didn't finish because I didn't want ink. If you start seeing it come out just halfway or less than half, this is like maybe 1/4 of the design, stop it, because all that ink is getting sprayed on the bottom, on the inside, and you don't want to start messing up that bottom and start getting ink on the bottom of your print head and just start having smeared prints or anything like that. I tried going to the left side, tried going to the right side, and it just never really worked out. I tried putting a piece of letter sheet behind it and putting this in the middle because it doesn't see it right. There's a center down there. I guess it has to be the full width, And so even putting a sheet to try and trick it, and I tried to put this in the middle and it was still printing on the side. So if you guys have ever printed mug paper off your Epson F570, let everybody know. Put it down in the comments and I'll try and make a video to help everybody else out. So what does that mean? You can't print no more mug paper. So this printer is a 24-inch wide printer. I think the mindset is that you're going to be printing a very large quantities in rolls. There is a roll feature in here. I have a roll. I don't think you can see it, but there is a roll right there. So I think the mentality at Epson was they don't need to be printing mug paper. So what you're going to probably end up having to do is use letter or legal size paper. Even if you have just one mug to print on emergency or just a one-off, you're going to have to use a letter or legal at the minimum. So anyway, let's get off of this subject, and we're going to start with letter. Legal's the same, it's just deeper. Instead of 11, it's 14 inches long. So we're going to start with the printer first. That way when we go to the software, we're going to go and print out a Corel Draw. Once we put all the settings in, the sizes or whatever, it's got to match the driver settings of this. So if we put legal or letter here, we're going to have to put letter over there. If we put legal, it'll give you a warning saying that the driver settings aren't the same or not identical, and you'll have to change it. So let's put the flap open. Let's look on the bottom here. Clip in the paper tray to catch the paper. We will push this back, and then you have the paper holder right there. And so we're going to get letter. We'll put it inside here and then close the the alignment tabs. And then we will come over here to the screen. So from the home screen, we're going to choose paper settings. And then from there, we're not going to use the cut sheet. We're going to use the auto sheet feeder, which is the middle option, unless they change the user interface. Currently it's the middle one. Alright, we're going to choose the paper type and the paper size, and then right now the paper type is on general purpose textile, and then the paper size is letter 8.5 by 11. If it is different, you will choose the paper size and then choose the size that you want. So now it is on the ready screen. So now let's go ahead and go to the program, and we'll show you how it looks like there. Okay, so we are in Corel Draw. On this tab you see right here, this is for the mug paper. This is 3.15, so it's good for 3.5 inch wide paper. Usually you just get one out of that. So here we go with the letter. This is 8 inches long, so if you're doing 15-ounce mugs, you may have to like turn it this way, and then in that case you'll only get probably 2 out of this, one on the left, one on the right. But for 11-ounce mugs, I think you're able to get a full width sheet out of it, and then that'll work. So you could get about 3 sheets or 3 prints off of one sheet. And then legal, you should be able to get at least 4, and then 11 by 17 you should be able to get at least 6, and then 13 by 19 you should at least get 7 prints. Alright, so we'll see. Let's go ahead and go back to our letter. We already have the printer set up, so we're going to go to File and Print, and this is where we go to select our F570, and we'll go into Preferences, and then so the document size, we're going to make that user defined, and then the output we're using letter, so that's 8.5 by 11, which is already set. And then here, of course, you get the warning because the roll paper is not being used. So we're going to go ahead and do auto sheet feeder. We're not going to do cut sheet. That's only for one sheet at a time. So we're going to do the auto sheet feeder. And then if this shows wrong, you can try and hit acquire info, and then it'll update whatever the settings are in the printer. So it sees 8.5 by 11, and then we'll just do textile. And we use simple settings. We're not going to go through all that because that's not what this video is about, but we're going to use simple settings. And I usually have the print preview on, and then we'll click OK, and then we will go to our color. Okay, and this is the settings we usually have. You can choose your textile or rigid, whichever one you're going to use, and then we have these checked for perceptual, and then we print. So when we have the preview, it is the actual Epson preview. We don't do the Corel Draw print preview because that's just going to look whacked out. But this is a whole lot better view than using Corel Draw's print preview, because that would just look muted or just way off. So make sure you use the Epson print preview to get more accurate looking colors in your preview. And that's it. And then so we're going to go ahead, you can look at these if you want to, make sure everything is correct, and then we're going to go ahead and click print. And then once we click print, it's going to go start hitting the printer. Now I did forget to hit like quantity 2 or 3. So after this is print, I'm going to go ahead and do quantity 2. And then that way you can see that the auto sheet feeder works. It may be a good idea as well if you bought the stand with it, that you can open, this is the catch bag down here at the bottom. That way in case one of the sheets gets pushed, it'll hopefully get caught on the catch basket down here at the bottom. You can't see it and I'm right here, so I'm going to just lift it up. That way I won't run into it. Let's see what happens. Still put, there it goes. It was kind of pushing it, kind of like that machine where you drop the coins and it kind of just goes to the edge. So that's good to have kind of some kind of platen or some kind of table right here so that it can fall and not hit the ground and get all messed up. Or had to have a catch basket at the bottom so that they can fall in there. So anyway, that is the letter. So let's go ahead and get set up for the legal and show you how that prints. And so here is the legal. You don't have to move the tabs because it's the same width as the letter. And on doing the auto sheet feeder, you don't have to go left or right because you don't need that beep because you have multiple sheets. So you can put them in here first, put them in that slot. Even if you don't, and if you say like, let's go to the home screen. As soon as I put them in there, let me see if I can show you. So if you can see, it's on the load paper screen. So as soon as I put this paper in here, let me get it in there. As soon as I put that paper in there, it goes to the auto sheet feeder screen. All right, because the auto sheet feeder has a sensor in there, so when you stick the paper in there, it automatically says, okay, you're going to use the auto sheet feeder. So it takes me to the paper type and paper size. The paper type is going to stay the same from this situation, but the paper size is a letter. So I'm going to hit the paper size and choose legal. And then we'll click OK. And now the screen says ready. So now we're set at the printer. The print driver has been set for legal. Now we're going to go to the program and set up for legal and then print it. Okay, we're back into the Corel Draw. So now we're going to go to legal, and then all we're going to do is go to File, Print, and then we'll choose our the 500 series, Preferences, and then our document size is going to be user defined. Our output is going to be, now you can, if it's quicker for you to hit just 14 in here, then you can do 14. Now you see here, like this is just a normal properties window, but as you can see here, paper width 3.5. So that tells me that this driver, the Epson series properties driver, will allow me to create a 3.5, but you know that driver is probably for, I don't know, maybe it can be used for a lot of different printers. As you can see, I created a mug paper size, but whenever I went to the printer on the screen in the printer driver, it did not allow me to go to 3.5 width. It was just a minimum of like 8.23 or something like that. So that's just kind of where I was trying to do a workaround but couldn't find one. You can put 14 here for legal, or you can just come over here and do legal 8.5 by 14. Click OK, and then again you're going to do auto sheet feeder, and then it should say, it should have the legal, and then we'll just do textile. We'll leave it on simple settings for this, and then hit OK. We'll just do number of copies 3, and then you can do your color, and then you know, make sure you just choose your settings, whatever you're going to choose, and then you can apply and print, and then the print preview window will come up. You can uncheck that in the Epson properties if you don't need the print preview, but if you're printing, if it's your first time printing a certain design or image, and it's for a client that is real strict on color, and you're going to be printing you know, a lot of sheets or quite a bit of your roll, you might want to do your print preview at least for that one time, and then once you get your settings down, you most likely probably won't need it. So we're going to click print after you check your settings, and then go to the printer and start seeing them come out. Well, it looked like it took 2 in there. Oh no, it was just the shadow of the light made it look like there was one right there. I want to see if they'll print and knock these other pages off, the ones that are on here. So I'm not going to touch this. So while it's printing, you know, how has everybody liked their Epson F570? If you've got one, do you like it? I'm loving it. It prints very, very good colors. I have not had any problems with anything yet. Knock on wood. It's been great, and I have no complaints. The only complaint is that it doesn't do mug paper anymore. For those one-offs, or you know, just maybe you're doing something for somebody's birthday or anniversary or something, you're gonna have to use a letter sheet of dye sublimation paper. So the software, the Epson driver on the computer, as you can see, allows you to go as small as 3.5 inches wide, which is perfect for mug paper, even 4 inches wide. But when you come into here and try to input those settings, it doesn't allow you. Even the slot here on the multi-sheet feeder, it doesn't allow you to go all the way to 3.5. So that's a bummer, because I got a bunch of mug paper, like a stack like that thick, that I can no longer use. Not even if I had my Epsons, because they're no longer die sub printers. That is 3 sheets of legal. Let's go ahead and do some 11 by 17s. All right, this is, let's get 1, 2, we can do 3 prints. Let's do 3 prints. All right, so the widest on this multi-sheet feeder is an A3. That's usually overseas. But domestically in the States is 11 by 17. So, I mean, unless you're able to get A3 size, you know, you ship it from overseas or something. I mean, unless we have A3 here in the States, I've never seen it in the stores or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. And as soon as we put that in, we got the auto sheet feeder message again. And we're going to go ahead and click on paper size so that we can change it. And then we'll click on 11 by 17. And then we'll click on OK. So now you have the ready symbol or the ready message. So now let's go to the program, set the size up over there, start printing to the printer. Okay, so we're back in the program and we're done with the legal. Let's go to 11 by 17, already set up in the printer. So now let's just go to File and Print. And then we're going to choose our Epson 500 series, go to Preferences, and then our document size. I just usually say user defined, and then output size. We can come over here and choose 11 by 17. Click OK. We're going to choose auto sheet feeder. Should automatically see it. If it doesn't, you can try and do the acquire info, and then we'll just do textile, leave simple settings for now, and then we can do print preview if you want to. If not, just uncheck it. Alright, click OK. And then apply. Go to your colors, make sure your settings are in there, and then once you're done, we'll choose print. One thing I forgot to do, let's cancel, and then all the settings should be saved. Let's go to print, but let's go ahead and go to 3 copies. We'll apply that. Alright, and then everything looks good. Got 3 copies. Now we can just print. And let's watch them come out the printer. Once you go to a larger size after 11 by 17, you're going to no longer use the auto sheet feeder, because the next size up for domestic, for the US, it's going to go from 11 by 17 to 13 by 19. And 13 by 19, we're going to use this single sheet. And even though this is supposed to be the auto sheet feeder video, we're just going to go ahead and do a 13 by 19 for you, just to show you how to do it in the settings and all that, in case you don't know. Alright, here you go. Here's where you have to have that. I don't even think that's going to make it. So this might not make it. Oh, it barely made it. We'll see if the third sheet pushes this off of the output tray. But the more sheets you get put on top, if you're going to do 10 of these, it gets heavier. So, but you never want to leave it like that. Now it's just hanging at a 90 degree, almost at a 90 degrees down. So it looks like it's trying to purge or clean. But yeah, it just comes straight out. There's no real drop. Kind of like your Epson 1400 and 1430. How when it comes out and exits, it goes down a little bit. So the next sheet can go right on top of it. This one here, I think they need to do another version. Yeah, this is gonna fall. Maybe. And the basket here isn't big enough for that. This basket here is meant for a roll. Well, it's gonna stay. But even though I think this little lip right here is coming out too far, and when the sheet comes out, it doesn't go past that lip. We'll get you here in a second when the page is about to come out. So as you can see, that page is right at the exit. Right here is a little dip, but that page doesn't get pushed out for it to fall in that dip. It just stays right there. So when that next page comes out, it just pushes it, and then you end up with something like this. And that's just 3 sheets. So that next sheet is going to end up pushing this, which is going to push this, which may end up pushing this eventually off of the output tray. Alright, so anyway, that is your 11 by 17. So let's do one final one with 13 by 19. Alright, so now in this case with the 13 by 19, we no longer can fit the paper onto the tray, or the multi-sheet tray is way too wide for that. Okay, so we're going to lift this forward and then we're going to stick it in there, but we're not going to do that yet. We have to go onto the screen, and then we'll have to choose the paper size and all that stuff. So let's go ahead with, now the screen says load paper. Alright, so we're going to click on paper settings, or paper setting, and now we're going to do cut sheet 1 sheet. Once we do that, we click on that. Now it's telling us to lift the cover and to load a sheet, not multiple, but a sheet, 1 sheet. So once we do that, we're going to bring it in, go all the way down. We'll hear it beep, and it'll take it in about a couple of millimeters. Now that you've gone from the multi-sheet feeder into regular cut sheets, if you have the stacker in, it can detect that. And we'll show you on the screen what that looks like. So we'll take it out, put it to the side, and now it goes to the cut sheet 1 sheet with the paper type and the paper size, the screen that we need to get to. It was last set up for 11 by 17, but now we're doing 13 by 19, so we're going to click on paper size. The only sizes that are available is 11 by 17, 17 by 22, and 22 by 34. So there is no 13 by 19 in the US ANSI. And so now you have 2 choices of what you can do. I just got the Paul Revere stuck in my head. So you got 2 choices of what you can do. You can either go to user defined and type in 13 by 19, or you can go to the A series, which is at the very top of the paper size, and then you can go to Super A3. So Super A3 / B, those are about the same thing. So they're about 13 by 19. So we're gonna use Super A3, and that's it. And so we're gonna press OK. Alright, so now that it's loaded, the screen is ready. And now we'll go to the software, match those settings over there, and start printing. Alright, so now we're back in the software. We're done with the 11 by 17. So let's go to the 13 by 19, and then we'll go through our settings again. File, print, and then we'll choose our printer. Go into the preferences, and then we'll choose document size, we will do user defined, and then our output size. And so just like on the printer, you can do it either way. You can use user defined, and you can put in your measurements 13 by 19, or you can go to A series, because again there is no 13 by 19 in the ANSI, but the A series has the Super A3/B, and this is your 13 by 19. So we'll select Super A3. That's it. Then you click OK. So if you choose sheet and it doesn't give you anything, try and hit acquire info. Okay, and then it'll find it. If for some reason you come from your printer first, right? So you go to your printer, you put in your 13 by 19, you do all the settings, you load it. You got to make sure that there's no skew in the paper, that it actually says that it's ready. Because if it's not and it's loaded with a skew and you don't see that over there, and then you come over here, it'll give you that dash mark, and that means that the printer's most likely not ready. But you go fix that over there first. Make sure it's put in there correctly, and it says printer's good. And then at that point, you come back over here, and then you can hit acquire info, and then it should read the settings. And then we'll hit textile. We'll leave simple settings for now. Print preview just to do it. Apply, and then we'll do our color. Make sure everything is set correctly, and then we'll print. And then once we see the settings are good here, again, it's just one copy, because when you get to 13 by 19 and larger, it's only one sheet, unless you get to the roll. So now we're going to click on print, and then watch it come out. Alright, we'll open the bottom catch, and we'll see if it falls in place or not. Alright, there we go. Fell in the basket. The basket did its use, what it was meant to do, and there's our print. Alright, so there you have it. We've printed out from letter to legal to 11 by 17 and then 13 by 19. Obviously, our mug paper is not a success. Again, if any of you know how to print to the Epson F570 using mug paper, 3.5 to 4 inches wide, let us know down in the comments so we can try and figure it out and put a video out there and help everybody else out. Alright, hopefully this video was helpful in showing you the different sizes and how to print to them. Again, that mug paper was unsuccessful, but that's okay. We have letter and legal and other sizes like 11 by 17 and 13 by 19 to print to. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Like, subscribe if you can, it helps out a lot. Leave a comment down below if you got one of these, if you love printing to it, if you have issues, what's the pros and cons to you. The only con to me is it can't print mug paper. That's the only thing so far that I have found that I cannot do that I used to be able to do on my 1400 and my 1430. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Hope you're having a good day printing. We'll talk to you next time, and until then, peace.